We are mere months away from the grand opening of Universal Epic Universe, mere months away from experiencing all that these lands and attractions have to offer at Universal's brand new theme park. And y'all, I'm beyond excited. Epic Universe is not only going to change the mold of Universal parks going into the future, but theme parks in general, with 5 worlds containing 13 brand new state-of-the-art attractions. And with this video, I wanted to rank the attractions of Epic Universe, talk about what I'm most excited about and why I'm so excited for it. Now, before we get into the specific rankings and my own picks for my most anticipated attractions coming to Epic Universe, I just wanted to say that these are my opinions. My list will probably not be the same as your list, so I highly suggest that you guys drop down in the comments below, what does your Epic Universe hype list look like? What are the attractions you are most excited for? I also want to say that I think each and every one of these attractions and lands are going to bring something new to the table. So just because I put something near the bottom of the list doesn't mean I think it's going to be bad. This isn't a ranking of which attractions I think are going to be the best at Epic Universe. They are the attractions that I'm just most looking forward to. I really don't think there is a bad one in the bunch. There are just some that fit more into my tastes than others. As I mentioned before, we have 13 formal attractions in 5 themed lands coming to Epic Universe, ranging from family fun to thrills and chills. So I think now's as good a time as any to jump right into my most anticipated attractions coming to Epic Universe. Kicking things off at the bottom of my list, in the number 13 spot, we have Constellation Carousel, located in Celestial Park. Now, this attraction isn't too complicated. It is a modern version of the classic carousel, one of the most iconic theme park attractions of all time. One thing I really like about Constellation Carousel and Celestial Park in general is how these sort of design aesthetics take something old, something classic, a Victorian era design style, and mix it in with something new and modern. It's a really cool mixture that I think works really well in making a theme that's familiar yet exciting. With that being said, the exterior structure of the Constellation Carousel looks beautiful, and the interior looks just as nice. I also like that you get the 360-degree motion on the animal ride vehicles, which also look very cool. But it is just a carousel, and while I enjoy that we're getting highly themed flat rides at Epic Universe, this is tailored to sort of younger riders, and I'm not really the demographic for this. But best believe in the effort to do all the rides at Epic Universe, I will be taking at least one ride on the Constellation Carousel. Keeping up a very similar vibe with another highly themed flat ride, my number 12 spot has to go to Dragon Racers Rally, located in How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. This is what's known as a Gerstlauer Skyfly attraction, and the first one to be open in the state of Florida. And right off the bat, I really like how this fits into the theming of Isle of Berk, being themed to the dragon races seen in the How to Train Your Dragon films. I love the interactivity, being able to control how much you spin on your ride. And in general, I really appreciate that this is a flat ride with some thrill. Now, one thing you gotta know about me before we continue on with this list is that I'm not a huge thrill ride person. So with that being said, a ride like Dragon Racers Rally, while it may appeal to some, isn't my type of thing. But the thrill and motion aspect of it does intrigue me, and I'm a big fan of the How to Train Your Dragon series, so I am pretty curious about Dragon Racers Rally. Staying in How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk for number 11, we go over to Fire Drill. As the park's only water-themed attraction, this ride puts you head-to-head with another boat as you try to extinguish the flames of the dragons. Like with Dragon Racers Rally, I like how it fits into the theming and the world of Isle of Berk. Of course, with dragons being around, you need to know how to put out fires, and I think that's a really fun concept for a small-scale family attraction. My comments with Fire Drill are very similar to my comments about Dragon Racers Rally. I just think this appeals a little more to me. So again, while it's not the most exciting attraction coming to Epic Universe or even Isle of Berk, Fire Drill looks like a fun time. Now, moving up to number 10, we have probably my most controversial pick of the list so far, and maybe the list in general. We have Stardust Racers, located in Celestial Park. This is the park's big roller coaster. This is the big thrill coming to Epic Universe. And because of that, it's at the top of a lot of people's hype lists. But as I mentioned before, I'm not a huge thrill seeker, so it takes a little more for a thrill attraction to get my attention than just fast speeds and crazy motions. I do think Stardust Racers is beautiful. I think it's going to add a lot of kinetic energy to Celestial Park. I think the ride vehicles look great. I really like how they light up at night, and it looks like shooting stars in the air. I think that's really neat. With that being said though, there are just more attractions, especially when it comes to roller coasters, that I'm just more excited about than Stardust Racers. Don't get me wrong, it could be a great attraction. It could be my favorite attraction coming out of Epic Universe, but I'm just not as excited for it as I am with others, and that's all this list is. It's all based on my pure opinions and my own hype regarding the park. Now moving up to my number 9 spot, we have the one and only attraction I've already experienced on this list, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, located in Super Nintendo World. Now, I had the pleasure of experiencing this attraction more than once on my last trip to Universal Studios Hollywood in February of last year, and it was my favorite attraction in that park. I love how it combines screens with physical sets, the interactive element was fun, the movement was fun. So with that being said, the reason why it's number 8 on this list is just based on my excitement to experience this attraction again. I want to go and get a closer look at that queue. I want to learn how the actual game works. I want to look for all the little Easter eggs they have hidden. I found a couple of them, but there's just so much in here, and even as someone who isn't a huge Nintendo fan, I was able to appreciate all the detail they put into this attraction. There isn't much about this attraction that hasn't already been said by myself or anybody else who's been to Universal Studios Hollywood in the last couple years. So with that being said, I'm just excited to experience this attraction again, and I'm excited to bring people on it who've never been before and get their first reactions, because for me, that's almost as fun as riding the ride for the first time yourself. So I know I've been talking a lot about rides, but rides aren't the only thing coming to Epic Universe. The park is also boasting a few impressive stage shows as well. And at my number 8 spot, I have one of those stage shows, Le Cirque Arcanus, coming to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. Now, the Wizarding World lands, whether it's Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley, are no stranger to stage shows. But this is the first time we're seeing something on this scale when it comes to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. While I'm not the biggest Fantastic Beasts fan, I do enjoy the magic circus featured in The Crimes of Grindelwald. I also appreciate that it's an all-original story. It isn't directly following the movies themselves. Yes, it does involve, Newt Scamander and the Fantastic Beasts and the circus from that second Fantastic Beasts film, but it is an all-new story kind of jumping off of those films. And I'm just excited to see how they bring the Fantastic Beasts and different magic elements to life on stage. Of course, we see different walk-around character versions of the Fantastic Beasts in the other Universal parks, and I'm curious if they're going to use the same techniques to bring them to life here for this stage show. They're being very, very tight-lipped about this show and the Ministry of Magic at large, so I have high hopes that this show, as well as the rest of the land, will live up to that standard set by Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley. Now, keeping with the stage show theme, we're going to move up to my number 7 spot, which is the Untrainable Dragon, located in How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. When it comes to dynamic stage shows coming to Epic Universe, I think this one is going to take the cake. I think this one is going to be the one that people talk about, and this is the one I'm most excited for. Now, we do have a very similar version of this show open currently in Universal Studios Beijing. And if this stage show is anything like the Beijing version, which it is going to be pretty close to, we are in for an absolute treat. I'm really excited to see how they bring the story of How to Train Your Dragon to the stage. Of course, I can't wait to see how they're going to use the set pieces and the actual human characters to tell that story, but of course, I am super excited to see the dragons brought to life, have them flying around the theater, even having them interacting with the human actors on the stage. I think it'll be great for those of us who already enjoy the How to Train Your Dragon film series, but I think it'll also be great for those who don't know much about it. Maybe they've never seen the movies before, and this is their first time really interacting with the series. Universal Studios Hollywood has Waterworld. Universal Studios Florida has the Bourne Stuntacular, and I think Epic Universe is going to have the Untrainable Dragon as its signature stunt shows that shows people that Universal can put on a damn good show if they want to. Now you might think I'm a little bananas for my placement of this attraction, because at number 6 we have Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, located in Super Nintendo World. I think, like Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, this attraction will be one that videos just don't do it justice. I think this looks like a really fun family coaster that is the perfect level of thrill for smaller riders or those who may not just love roller coasters. But it also looks like it's packing in that wonderful theming that comes with Super Nintendo World. One thing that I really love in Mario Kart is how they're able to bring such an iconic part of the game, driving the Mario Kart, to life in an attraction. And it looks like they're doing a very similar thing here with the minecarts from the Donkey Kong video games. I love the visual of the minecarts jumping the track, switching over, and just gliding through this tropical atmosphere. I love how kinetic this attraction looks, how fun it looks, and how it acts as the perfect thrill component to Super Nintendo World. With the other attractions, they're not that thrilling, they're not that fast, and while Donkey Kong does not look like a super intense roller coaster by any means, it's something a little different, adding that variety to Super Nintendo World. However, moving away from the lighthearted coasters to a more spooky one, we have kicking off the top 5, Curse of the Werewolf, located in Dark Universe. Like a lot of the attractions coming to Epic Universe, I really enjoy how they expand the story of a previously known IP. We're diving into the story of the Wolfman and Maleva, as well as the clan of mystics that reside within Dark Universe. The spinning component looks really fun. It looks like it's going to add that pop of thrill that this attraction needs. This is billed as a family coaster, but with the spinning element plus the sort of spooky theme and aesthetic, I think we'll see a similar situation to what we see with Revenge of the Mummy. A roller coaster that isn't the biggest one out there, but is made a little more intense, thrilling, and even scary with the theme and the design of the attraction. And generally, I think all of the pieces are there to create a really fun roller coaster. The best coaster in the park? I don't know, but definitely one that'll be a fun time and a good complement to everything else going on in Dark Universe. Now moving up to number 4, we have the attraction in Super Nintendo World that I am most excited to see, Yoshi's Adventure, located of course in Super Nintendo World. Now I know this pick is going to be controversial. I know it's going to ruffle feathers, especially with how I place some of the other attractions on this list. But to me, something that every great theme park needs is a people mover style attraction. A slow moving ride, it could be a dark ride, it could just be a mode of transportation around the park. Something that gives you great views of the theme park through a relaxing experience. And for me, I think Yoshi's Adventure is going to tick that box. Now granted, you're not actually moving throughout the whole of Epic Universe, it's just throughout Super Nintendo World. But whether you're on the attraction or on the ground looking at it, it's going to add so much more kinetic energy to a land that already has a ton of it. Not only that though, but you also get some fun dark ride scenes, some animatronics. Now I get it, this attraction is not going to be for everybody, this attraction is definitely tailored for young kids. But you know what, I love Yoshi, I love Toad, I love, those cute little characters. And I like slow moving dark rides. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it till the end of time. I am a fan of slow moving dark rides, especially when they're as well themed as this one is. But now it's time to move into the big 3, my top 3 most anticipated attractions at Epic Universe. We have some heavy hitters here, so let's start it off at number 3 with Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, located in the Wizarding World Ministry of Magic. One thing that is consistent with all the Harry Potter attractions is an attention to detail in bringing these locations to life. And that's everything that Universal has been advertising with Battle at the Ministry. I'm very curious to see how this ride system is going to work. It's going to be something that we haven't really seen before, but I'm just excited to see how these locations are brought to life, what kind of action we're getting into. We do know that there's going to be some Fantastic Beast involvement in this attraction. We're going to have Death Eaters, we're going to have wizard battles, of course we're going to get to see Dolores Umbridge. I haven't even mentioned the queue of this attraction, which is set to bring the main atrium of the Ministry of Magic to life in full scale. There's so much that we know about this attraction, but there's also so much that we don't know, and that really excites me. I'm excited to see all the surprises that come with Battle at the Ministry, especially considering the surprises we see with the other Harry Potter attractions riding them the first time. So that's why it appears here in the top 3. A lot of people are unsure if lightning is going to strike 3 times with Harry Potter, and I'm pretty confident that it will. And if it's not the best attraction out there, I think it's still going to be a very highly themed dark ride experience. And while I love those slow moving dark rides, I also like those more intense, highly themed dark rides, especially when it comes to Harry Potter. Now, moving up to number 2, we have my most anticipated roller coaster coming to Epic Universe, Hiccup's Wing Gliders, located in How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. There are so many reasons why I'm curious and excited about Hiccup's Wing Gliders. For one, I will say, other than the Untrainable Dragon, this is the marquee attraction for Isle of Berk. This attraction, like Yoshi's Adventure and Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, is one of those that you can actually see just as you're walking throughout Isle of Berk. It's sprawling, it's majestic, and I think it's going to add so much to the layout of Isle of Berk, whether you're on the attraction or on the ground looking at it. And honestly, there's just not much about this attraction that I'm not excited for. I think we're in for a very highly themed experience and a really highly themed roller coaster, and this is what I really love when it comes to roller coasters. Of course, thrill is fun, and I think there are going to be some thrilling moments on here. I think there are some unexpected moments when it comes to this attraction that people aren't really considering, or you might not be able to really experience it fully until you're on it. And generally, I think this is going to be the most dynamic coaster coming to Epic Universe. I think this is one that people are sleeping on, and I cannot wait to experience this for the first time, get the feel of flying on the back of a dragon, which is really what you want in this land. But that means we're here at number 1, the attraction I am most excited to see when it comes to Epic Universe, and it should be no surprise that it's Monsters Unchained: The Frankenstein Experiment, located in Dark Universe. We are getting a classic Monsters dark ride featuring all the most iconic classic monsters from Universal's catalog: Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Phantom of the Opera. So many of the iconic monsters we've seen from Universal are coming to life in an all-new way with Monsters Unchained, and that alone is getting me on board. That's gonna put this at number 1. But more than that, we are getting an original story involving Victoria Frankenstein, a descendant of the original doctor who made the iconic monster. We are seeing a story of monsters versus humans, and we are getting an attraction that is going to be like what we've seen before, like Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey and how it uses the Kuka ride system, but done in a scarier way, in a more visceral way. You're going to be able to feel the monsters running around you. They're going to be lurking in the shadows through these incredible animatronic figures. The queue for this attraction looks incredible as you get to go through Frankenstein's manor, this looming tower that sits in the back of Dark Universe. You see it as soon as you walk into the land and you're curious, what's back there? What's inside of that castle? It's the first time we're seeing something of this nature come to a theme park, especially on this scale. Of course, we see things like Halloween Horror Nights, and we get our fix of the horror atmosphere from the haunted houses there, but this is something all different and all year round, and I absolutely cannot wait for it. This will be the attraction I try to do first at Epic Universe, and it's just my most anticipated. So let me know down in the comments below, what is your most anticipated attraction coming to Epic Universe, or even give me a list of your most anticipated attractions coming to Epic Universe. We are less than 100 days away from this park opening, and that's just so mind-boggling to me. I remember when this thing was first announced, when the land was just a plot of dirt, and now we have a theme park that is coming very, very soon. So exciting. We have more Epic Universe videos coming soon, of course, some before the park opens, but some after the park opens. We get to experience these attractions, these lands. I'll share what I think about them, of course. So if you like videos about Epic Universe, Universal, and Halloween Horror Nights, I talk a lot about Halloween Horror Nights on this channel, be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel if you're new. Whether it's liking the video, subscribing, commenting, sharing, any kind of support you give to the videos is really appreciated. So with that being said, I want to thank y'all for watching this video. I'll of course see you in the next one. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but stay epic, I guess, and take care everybody.